the European descendants of Kasyapa Muni.
About 5,200 years ago and earlier, there was an advanced Vedic civilization centered around the city of Hastinapur and rivers like the Sarasvati. In one form or another, the culture was global, but the further one got from India, generally the lower the spiritual standards were. The powerful Kasyapa Muni and his wives were based in Kashmir and had many offspring. Some of their descendants included certain Kshatriya warrior races who became unruly. They couldn't control their sexual impulse, ate meat, liked their alcohol, and they were always fighting. They were of noble heritage, but these light-skinned tribes were not appreciated by the Vedic brahmanas and leaders of the time. The tribes did have a priestly class, but their Kshatriyas were not submissive to them. Lands to the west were becoming a more desirable place for migration. That was particularly so after the huge Kurukshetra war, India's decline, and the drying of the Sarasvati River. Many of those who migrated west from Central Asia were what we call the Indo-Europeans. These races initially settled just south of the Caspian Sea, named after the Caspian people, from the Greek Kaspio, meaning descendants of Kasyapa. They also lived around the Black Sea and later Turkey. Then they spread to Greece and the rest of Europe. But before that, there was migration to the north of the Caspian and Black Seas. The long Volga River flows through central and southern Russia and into the Caspian Sea. In ancient times, there were remnants of Vedic culture there. Those who had migrated away from the Central Asian region brought the culture with them. That is why there are a great many uncanny similarities between Sanskrit and Russian languages. Some moved west of the Slavic regions. It is said that these tribes were sometimes regarded as Danavas, meaning unruly descendants of Danu, a wife of Kasyapa Muni. In Central Europe, the river Danube and the national identity of Dane and Danish speaks for itself. And note that the Irish Celts and others regarded themselves as children of the goddess Danu. The Druid class was sometimes known as Sudanavas, good Danavas. Then there's the view that Deutschland eventually traces back from Deutschistan, tribe of big people. Their cousins, Dutch, also comes from Deutsche, an identity relating to Diti, another wife of Kasyapa Muni.
Now, let's use an example from France.
Paris, from the Latin Parisorium, in turn from the Sanskrit Parameswarium, meaning abode of the goddess Parameshwari.
Let's move to England, or as it was once known, Angulistan, Sanskrit for a finger-like country, when compared with the rest of Europe. Some examples.
Salisbury, Sail-ish-Puri, hilly settlement with a temple. Many scholars conclude now that Stonehenge in southern England once served as a huge solar calendar. Some take it further. They suggest that the entire site was the physical representation of 1 month, with also the annual summer and winter solstices. Stonehenge might have looked something like this around 2400 BCE. At dawn on the summer solstice, the rays of the sun would have shone straight through to strike the altar stone in the centre. Nearby Avebury includes 2 inner stone circle temples of the sun and moon. The outer boundary marked a much larger sacred space. The site may have looked something like this. There's a similar site in Goseck, Germany. It is believed to have been an ancient observatory. The ancient European Druids were influenced by Indian Vastu. A great example today is the Padmanabhaswamy temple in Kerala. This was shot at high speed on the summer solstice. Check it out.
I'll finish with a map showing the use of Indo-European languages, which traces the path of the ancient migration I described. Thanks for watching. Now, please share with others.